which does happen frequently. All right, hitting that. All right, perfect. Again, I apologize in advance for any barking. Oh, right on cue. That was wonderful. Thanks. All right, so happy to have everybody with us today. If we have not met before, because this is kind of the beginning of the new semester, my name is Justine. I'm the Grand Vice President for Collegiates. So this is something we do on a monthly basis. It is hopefully to be able to give you additional information to be able to support your own chapters and help you guys to grow and make sure that we are communicating all the information from headquarters out to our collegiate members as well. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. I need to move my dog. Give me 1 second. Oh, this is gonna be fun. Okay. Trying to make sure that we are able to give you all the information that you guys need. So if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat, and I'll do my best to answer them throughout. And we'll also have a couple times throughout to make sure that you have kind of some checkpoints to stop and answer questions too. All right, so today's topic we're going to be talking about is introducing the new awards for our collegiate chapters that we're introducing for this 2021-2022 year. They are, if you're not familiar, there were some new chapter awards that we started last year, but because of COVID, we were not able to introduce all of the chapter awards last year. We didn't really want to because of the virtual nature of everything. So we're reintroducing some of those awards, continuing those, and then also starting some new awards this year. So we have some new opportunities for you. We'll also go through how to apply, what the deadlines are, and what we're looking for with those applications. I'm also going to re-review the changes that we've made as of last year to the chapter of the year and chapter of the level program. In case you were around before then, or maybe this is the same thing as last year for you and you know no different, and that's okay too. And then finally, just kind of touch base about preparing to submit for your chapter's annual report, which is due, I think, now I'm blanking, I want to say May 15th. All right, so first thing is, why did we create these chapter collegiate reports? Chapter collegiate awards. So our collegiate awards program is brand new because we identified that there was really a gap in making sure that we're identifying and supporting and making sure to recognize all the amazing things that our collegiate chapters were doing. We do a really good job at making sure that we recognize our alumni members at convention. However, there was a missing piece, which was recognizing what our collegiate members are doing. So we wanted to make sure that there was some more focus on the accomplishments that the collegiate chapters were doing. We also want to make sure that our awards banquet, awards dinner and final banquet are more exciting and more fun. So we wanted to make sure to do that. I've got a dog that's eating my couch. Hopefully you guys understand what's going on right here. All right, maybe she'll settle. I spoke too soon. Cool. Hopefully you guys are all laughing with me. Okay, so how to apply for these collegiate chapter awards. It's going to be like pretty much everything else we do through LKS, which is going to be through a portal called Smarter Select. There is a limitation to that each chapter can only apply for a maximum of 2 awards. So even though we've kind of expanded it to additional awards, let me make sure I've added everyone in here. there's only going to be the option of 2 applications per chapter. So the reason for that is I don't want one specific chapter to be taken over and like doing a clean sweep or winning too many multiple awards. And that's why we've also put a limit on only 1 award per chapter as well. So you can apply to maximum of 2, and you can be a finalist in both of those, but you will only maximum win 1 award. So we want to make sure that the love of these awards and the receipt of the awards is spread across the board. So we'll have 3 finalists per each award, and then a winning program can't be repeated. So what I mean by that is that if you do a specific, we'll say like blanket making and donation project for something, or I guess one of the other ones I know a couple schools do like a Mr. Pharmacy pageant. We'll use that one. That's a better example. Mr. Pharmacy pageant to raise money for Project Hope. If you submit that and win that program, that specific program cannot be a winning program again in the future for that chapter. That same chapter could win with a different program on the same award in the future, but you can't win year after year. If you have some amazing, fantastic program, you can't just keep winning and winning and winning. Hopefully that makes sense. All right. So here's a list of the Collegiate Chapter Award options. The ones in yellow are the new ones. So top Philanthropic Event, and that's going to specifically relate to the trust of Project Hope. We also have top Service Event, and that's going to specifically relate to the WHI, which we'll review in a moment. Make sure we're all on board for that. Top P4 and Alumni Event. So we want to make sure that our members are reaching out to their alumni. Some of you have really strong connections with your alumni and your P4s, and some of you do not. So this is also a way for you to gain information and work on development, maybe in your chapter, if that's something that you are struggling on. Do you know how many people are watching you right now? Out of control. Top Professional Development Event as well as new. We are continuing our previous awards for top chapter recruitment strategy, top social media strategy, top Sisterhood Event, and top leadership team as well. I also, excuse me, ma'am, can we not be trying to eat my couch in the middle of this and sound like a crazed dog? Okay. All right. So right up here, if anyone noticed, it's a tangent warning. I'm going to go off on a tangent for 2 seconds. One is that there is still a Collegiate of the Year award, and this is a separate award from all of these. So this is going through a different program, a different committee that's going to be reviewing these applications. So this is due April 30th, and this is identifying 1 member in any of our chapters that can be identified as Collegiate of the Year. So this is completely separate. So I just wanted to make sure to plug this still. This is still a thing and something we want to make sure to recognize as well. And then my other plug and tangent warning is still for Advisor of the Year. So make sure to consider also submitting an application for your advisor to potentially win Advisor of the Year. That is due April 30th, and it can recognize either faculty or fraternity advisor. Okay, all right. So back on track to the Collegiate Award list here. I wanted to touch base back on the Women's Health Initiative. So in case you were not aware, hopefully you are, the Women's Health Initiative topic for this year is health disparities. So that's something that throughout the biennium, which is 2 years from 2020 to 2022, every chapter should be completing a Women's Health Initiative kind of program on this topic. But keep in mind that this topic will change for the next biennium. So, you know, if you've got something planned for next year, just realize that the health disparities topic is going to be going away, and there'll be something new coming up after convention once we select that. Okay, so I just want to make sure that you are aware of that. All right, so I wanted to walk you through a couple of two of the different options for the awards and what I'm going to actually just move. She's just being so crazy right now. I'm just going to move and see if that helps things. Okay. Sorry about that. And I'm going to add someone to the room as well. Okay. So example of information needed, we've got top philanthropic events. So this is a list of all the information that we have that you will need to utilize and add when you're applying for this award. So what we're looking for is a unique and impactful event to benefit Project Hope or the Educational Trust. All this information, you'll need to upload a poster, or an advertisement. You'll also have to put in all the information about how many people attended, whether that's outside of LKS members or current LKS members, the amount of money that you raised, the cost to put on the event, what the event was, and outlining planning steps. So this isn't just a way to recognize amazing and fantastic programs, but it's also a way that hopefully other, like I said earlier, other chapters that are looking for something to do can also see something that went really, really well and hopefully replicate that in the future. Okay. So there's also top Sisterhood Event. So some of the things that we might be looking for are looking for specifically an event that focuses on sisterhood, networking, and developing social skills. Example of the advertisement that you use, maybe that's a picture from Instagram or something like that. How many chapter members and alumni attended, the cost of the event, and planning steps for the event, and how would you improve that in the future? Okay. All right. Give me 1 second. Hold on. Okay, this is how it's going to be. So top leadership team is a one that does not actually get an application. So there's 7 awards. They all require applications except for this one. So this is going to actually be nominated from your region supervisor, from headquarters, or your advisor or alumni. So this one is the only one that does not require an application. Or anything after that. It'll just be read by our team and decided on at that time. Okay. So also you won't know if you're applying for this one. It doesn't go along with the rules when it comes to applying for only 2. So say your chapter applies for 2 of the awards and then you get nominated for this one as well. It doesn't mean that you get kicked out of running for one of the other ones. All right, so selecting a winner. So applications will be evaluated by a team that will be selected in the future. Finalists will create a 3-minute video. So again, from before, there will be 3 finalists chosen, and that will be by the 15th of June. And they create a 3-minute video that explains their event. And those submissions, they got about 2 weeks to turn that around, due by July 1st, and those will be reviewed by the same team or maybe a different team. All videos will then be uploaded to the app for convention so that they can be reviewed by people attending convention. And then the finalists will be, or the winners will be selected and presented at convention. Okay. So again, this is just kind of a review of what the timeline looks like. April 15th, the applications will open. May 15th, applications closed. So you have about a month, the same day that the annual reports are due as well. June 15th, finalists are chosen. July 1st, video submissions are due. That's on there twice. I just wanted to make sure of it. And then convention winners are announced during convention. So just kind of to review last year's winners. So it was our first year doing this. We have our top social media strategy. Our winner was Pi Chapter. Sisterhood Event was Alpha Nu and Alpha Omega doing the Battle of Bluegrass. And then we had virtual recruitment strategy, so we had to adjust that a little bit. That was Alpha Xi, and top leadership team was Alpha Phi. So if you are curious and you want to know a little bit more, want to see examples, they are all of the videos for all of the finalists, all the submissions are up on the website. So you can go to lks.org/2021-awards / and that has all of the videos on there. So you can take a look at what they submitted as well last year for all of them. All right, I'm going to pause here, answer any questions that you have so far.
I just had a quick question. In regards to like the top leadership versus applying for the other two, because the top leadership, like you said, we don't apply for those are just through our region supervisor. So if we end up getting selected in the running for top leadership, I know you said we can still run for the other two, but would we still be able to win the other two, or would we just automatically become finalists if we win top leadership?
No, since you don't know about it, that's the one that you can win in addition to one of the other awards.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I would not want you to not be aware that you were even nominated. You did all this work, made videos. If you were, especially if you were a finalist for two of the other awards, that's not fair. That's a waste of your time. So I wouldn't take that away from you guys. Any other questions? That was a good one, Sarah. Thank you. All right.
Thank you for answering.
No problem. All right. Fabulous. All right. We're going to go on quickly to annual report. I know it seems really early. It's only February, but semester ends really quickly and everything piles up all at once. So wanted to just touch base. The annual report is not due until May. But it's something that has a lot of information in it. And all this information is actually really important because it helps us to score your chapter, the chapter of the year and chapter of the level, which we'll talk about in a little bit. So you don't take it lightly. It's really important, especially when it comes to scoring. So if there's multiple reports, it gets us confused. If you don't take your time, then you could be putting your chapter at risk for not getting all the points that you deserve, okay? It also helps with financial information that's required for IRS. So we don't wanna, cause issue with the feds. So take it seriously, take your time. We estimate about 2 hours. Obviously, Erin and I haven't done it ourselves, but just the amount of information, it's decent. So what we would suggest is taking a good dedicated chunk of time with your e-board. There's parts on there from most people that you're gonna be required to get some information from, treasurer and things. So one person may not be able to do it all. You may need multiple people to work on it together. So I've got a list of all the things on here so that you'll need to be kind of prepared to do. Yeah, Erin says just don't do it on your own. I agree. It's probably not worth it. You're gonna miss some stuff. We made a lot of changes last year. As of right now, I have no planned changes for this year as far as collecting information or changing any of the information, but that's TBD. I don't expect large changes like we did last year. So what we'll be looking for is some basic demographic information on your advisors. I won't read this all to you, but as you can see, a lot of information from an array of different people. Transition plans, you'll need people to talk about your new members, frequency of events, treasurer information, and some of the events that you've planned for Hygeia Day and Founders Day. Also on here will be all the awards that you've given. So make sure that you've awarded your FLJ Heath keys if you had anyone that is deserving of one. Make sure that you submit for a Ruth Davies Flaherty Award. Every single chapter should be giving one of those. It's like Sister of the Year for your chapter. All your donations to the Trust and Project Hope, and all your service events, any other scholarships and alumni events too, okay? So all of that, and I probably missed some stuff as well, but all of that information. And last year, if you remember, way in the beginning of the semester, we also used this information to come up with those chapter report cards. So my plan would be to do that again, hopefully so you can see some progress in your chapter or some areas of improvement from last year, or places that you did really improve on, and some maybe areas that you want to continue working on, okay? And I'll hopefully be updating the master one as well, which showed your comparison to other chapters too. That's my goal. All right. So chapter of the year versus chapter of the level. This is, again, was a new thing for last year. So if you were around then, this might be familiar to you. And if you weren't, then this is new. If you were around 2 years ago, then chapter of the level is totally new to you. So I'll kind of introduce that to you. So chapter of the level, I want you to think about it like high school sports. So the purpose of changing this from chapter of the region, when we made the region smaller to 3, was to make sure that you were going to be competing for chapter of the level or region amongst other chapters that were similarly sized. What didn't, it was not fair to compare within your region just because of your location, when maybe there's a really small chapter in a region and 2 very large chapters. When you have very large chapters in a region, they have a lot more resources because they have more people. So therefore, they maybe can collect more money for fundraising. And that goes to points for chapter of the year. So what this meant is that we created these new levels based on chapter size, so that you're only competing against other chapters of your size. So you still have your regions where you have your region supervisor, but then these levels are really only for the end of the year when we're trying to create this chapter of the level situation. Every biennium, they're going to change. So we are going to be due for a change as well at the end of this year once we get all of our new membership numbers. So we will potentially see some shifts maybe to higher levels if you have seen a big growth in your chapter, or maybe down a level if you saw some declines in your chapters. So this is what the levels are as of today and for this biennium. So we have extra large all the way down to extra small, and then we associated those with just some random colors and gemstones. They have no bearing on anything. We were just trying to make something up that sounded better than extra large and extra small. So that's kind of where we are. So for instance, delta, xi, tau, alpha, zeta, alpha kappa, and alpha mu all kind of will be against each other as far as who is the who has the highest score within that level for the diamond level or division. Okay. So hopefully that makes sense. The reason why this is important is because we've therefore changed how we do the scoring based on the level. So like I said before, a really large chapter was able to have more people in it. They could collect more money for a fundraiser and therefore could get higher score than many of the smaller chapters. So therefore, we've created kind of a weighted scoring. And what that weighted scoring has allowed us to do is make an average in each of the levels and determine what is the highest score for each level based on the amount that is raised. So it's a super duper fake example. This is not by any means how we score anything, but The example was the extra large diamond level. They get a 5 out of 5 if they collected or donated $2,000 or more for Project Hope. That same score would be given if a platinum level chapter donated $1,000, and therefore Sapphire, all the way down at the bottom, the extra small chapter, that's equivalent to an extra small chapter donating 250 or more. Okay. Hopefully that makes sense. Trying to make it a little bit more possible for our smaller chapters to be ever in contention for like a chapter of the level / region, which it was before, or ever to be in contention for chapter of the year. Okay. Anyone have questions on this in particular? All right, so just to recap from last year, 2021, we had top Sapphire, so our extra small chapter, Alpha Chi, top Silver, Alpha Nu, top Gold was Omicron, top Platinum, Alpha Beta, and top Diamond was Tau. So from those 5 chapters, those are the only ones in contention for then chapter of the year. And then that one ended up being chapter of the year was Tau. Okay. All right. So this is a quick pep talks, clearly, or I'm just speeding through it because I'm holding a dog and it was insane. So to go through everything today, kind of we updated and reviewed the new and continued collegiate chapter awards, reviewed how to apply to them and the deadlines, as well as giving examples of what we're going to be looking for, reviewed chapter of the year and level process, and how to submit and start preparing at least for collecting information for the annual report. Okay. I always like to remind people to make sure that you and all of your chapter members are following all of our social media to make sure that you're getting all the information that we're pumping out to you guys. Next Pep Talks, March 5th, we're going to be talking about officer transitions and elections. So that's going to be important for all of our new officers as well. So you want to encourage them to attend. But I'll take some time to kind of pause here and answer any questions that you might have.
Hey, Justine, I have a quick question. So for the annual report, I've been trying to just I think I have last year's, just like the template. I think it's last year's, or it could be a super old one. I'm not sure, but I've been trying to just kind of keep a running list of our events, like kind of filling it in as we go. Is there an official document, or is it like an online, like text box where we're inputting all this information?
It is a Smarter Select program, just like submitting for awards. What I would suggest and what you can try to do is you can use your chapter responsibilities document to keep a running list of everything. If that's something, I could probably adjust and make sure that all of the, I think most of the things are on there, and that was kind of part of the purpose of keeping track of the responsibilities document, events towards the very bottom. So I could go through there and just make sure that that is on there for the future. I don't think we have a document, Erin, I'm not sure if you can correct me if I'm wrong, like a blank document so that they know exactly what's on there.
So the application is ready for this year, and there's a preview function. So you can go through and see everything that you're going to have to fill out. And also, once you start the application, you can save it and come back to it at any point. So you don't have to worry about like having to fill it all out at once. You can always work on it in chunks as well, if that helps. I don't know if that answers your question.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. So that's, I didn't know the document I had. I was like, this could be from like 5 years ago. I don't know, but I think it's relatively the same information, but that is definitely helpful. So I'll look out for the Smarter Select one and maybe start working on that.
So Jewel, just to confirm, are you thinking like that it would be easier to keep a running document throughout the year? Like have all the information that you need, have a running document, and then convert it when the Smarter Select.
Yeah, personally, yeah, just because like that's how I think I work better. And I've been just collecting the things throughout the year instead of like come April being like, okay, what did I do last June?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
But yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's part of the, I know that was why I added some of the stuff to the list at the bottom of the chapter document, but maybe we can make things a little bit clearer. Anyone else feel like that would be helpful? I don't think that it would be impossible or not helpful. So I think that we can, definitely look into that in the future.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. What other questions we got? Of course, now is when the dog settles down. So I apologize for that, but I will be sending out a quiz for today's presentation, honestly, probably by sometime Sunday evening. And you'll have about a week to turn around and get that answered. I think what I've been suggesting is to make sure to try to do the quiz with a couple people, just to make sure the answers are to make sure that there's not one person at the end of the year that gets blamed for like wrong answers. It's been starting to be my concern lately. So, because I think that I'll add like your average quiz score at the end into your chapter report card. I figured I'm like, ooh, quiz scores, we can add that to a report card. That makes sense. So, and not only that, but it's also important information. So I want to make sure that people understand what the information is and why it's there. So make sure to review it with your chapters. I do purposefully make the quizzes a little challenging to make sure that people understand the information. And it's not usually just kind of surface level stuff, but if you have questions, let me know or let your region supervisor know. Okay. Fabulous. All right. I'll let you guys go. I'm glad this one went quick. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful rest of your day.